maybe a good place to start is like, what are some terms that the audience should know, do you think, Matt? We're going to understand the discussion that we're going to have about Whitehead's ideas.
Yeah. Well, I talked about creativity already, which is his ultimate category. And that is a word that's difficult to define because it's everything and nothing. He
Well,
says it's both one and many. What's that?
I was just going to say, I actually thought you gave a more lucid definition of it than I was able to find in the work itself. So you've done it, helped already in terms of giving me some access to what's being talked about there. But yeah.
Oh, great. Glad to hear that. Elsewhere he'll talk about the principle of creative unrest, and it's that which is constantly disturbing any sense of subtle finality. But it's, as I said, it's both many and one. It's no more disjunctive than it is conjunctive, and it gives rise to the next important term, which would be concrescence. And concrescence is this process, as Whitehead defines it in this neat little formula, is the process whereby the many become one and are increased by one. So it's an iterative process. It's like a cycling process, and it's a cumulative process in that each subsequent concrescence includes the concrescence that came before it. And so there's this kind of a nesting of perspectives that goes on as the universe creatively advances. And so concrescence is the key concept of Whitehead's whole mature metaphysics.
Can you give an example of concrescence in nature?
Yeah. The realization of a pulse of light, a photon, would be an example of concrescence. Psychologically, it's the most minute moment of experience that we can imagine that would involve some degree of, and I'll use Edmund Husserl's terms, retention of the past and protension of the future. So some degree of memory and some degree of anticipation.